Most songwriters seem to be chasing trends, and that will almost certainly kill your art. Here's how to avoid that trap. So essentially, the easiest way to avoid this trap is to obey what I'm calling the first law of songwriting. Not necessarily because it's the most important, but because I came up with 10 laws of songwriting, and this just happens to be the first one. And that is to write for greatness, not approval. And essentially, writing for greatness means that you are sticking to your artistic vision and trying to make as great a song as possible, rather than just chasing what you think people might like or chasing what seems to be in right now. It's all about concentrating on how to make the song as great as possible for the sake of itself, rather than trying to write a song that you think a higher percentage of people will like. Or maybe even worse, chasing the validation of a few people. When you think about any great art, and honestly maybe just anything great, almost certainly it never was created while it was chasing trends. It instead sets trends because of how great it is. And in order to set trends, you have to have your own vision, and you need to actually follow that vision. Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood is maybe the most iconic kids TV show of all time. If not, it's up there, and it achieved true greatness. But it didn't do that by doing what everybody else was doing. In fact, there's really no other show quite like it. So it certainly wasn't chasing a trend, it was Mr. Rogers' vision in action. Another great example would be George Lucas and Star Wars. The studio execs at the time didn't really understand what Star Wars was about, didn't really believe in it, but he stayed true to his vision and he created the most iconic film franchise of all time. And then if you've ever seen any bit of an interview with Quentin Tarantino, you know that he is all about screw whatever people want me to do or what the studio execs think I should do or what anybody thinks. I just make great movies. I try to stay true to my vision, and I don't even want the actors to improvise because I wrote the script exactly how I want it and it shouldn't be any different. And specifically going back to music and songwriting, John Denver once said, "There's a real standard for what makes a song great. It's heart, it's craft. Write for that, not applause, and you'll create something lasting." And Barry Manilow said, "When it comes to me, I just write the most beautiful music I can, do the best work I can, and then I hand it out there." Or Matt Scannell from my personal favorite band, Vertical Horizon, who says great songs answer to a higher standard, not just popularity. Write like you're crafting for eternity, and the quality will speak for itself. And somebody you may have heard of in Kurt Cobain said, "I don't think about who I'm writing for. I just try to get the feelings out, and if it's real, it'll hit someone else too." And also, Chris Cornell of Soundgarden said, "I write like there's a bar every song has to meet. Not for fame, but for truth. If it doesn't feel like my absolute best, it's not done." So a great way to figure out if you are writing for greatness rather than approval is to ask yourself, would I still be proud of this song and love this song if nobody else heard it? And honestly, in general, I would encourage you just don't even pay attention to the trends or whatever's going on out there. Who cares? Figure out what your artistic vision is and go do it. And if you have an artistic vision that resonates with people, then people will resonate with it. So you don't really have to worry about doing what's in right now and what sounds are people using. You certainly can do all that for little bits and pieces that you may borrow from it, but you definitely shouldn't find yourself just chasing what everybody else is doing, because it's impossible to stand out when you do that. And overall, greatness comes from authenticity, not approval. Write for the art, not for the applause. And if you want some help writing great lyrics that actually will stand out and be true to your vision, then be sure to check out my 6-step lyric writing checklist. It breaks down lyric writing into 6 steps that are much more easy to complete than asking yourself to essentially look at a blank page and improvise brilliant poetry off the top of your head, which is not a very good system, or not really a system at all, when it comes to lyric writing. So if you've been struggling with lyric writing, honestly, it probably isn't you. You might be down on yourself thinking, I'm terrible at writing lyrics. But if you're just trying to force yourself to write great lyrics off the top of your head, almost nobody's good at that. So it's not your fault. It's just that you need a better process, and then you will get the results that you want, which is, of course, to have great lyrics that are memorable and pass what I call the frame test, which is the idea that if you just had your lyrics printed out as if it were poetry, no music, no melody to carry the lyrics, it's just the lyrics by themselves in a frame on the wall. would it still be good? Because that's the ultimate test if your lyrics are good. The lyrics are only good if by themselves they're still good. If they need the melody and you as a great singer and the awesome guitars to kind of cover up that it's not really very good, then the lyrics aren't great. So we want all our lyrics to pass the frame test. If that seems like something that you would like, be sure to check out my 6-step lyric writing checklist. Totally free. Link in the description down below. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate every single one of you. I'll talk to you in the next one.